So kuendelea. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Unaunga mkono ama unapinga?
Unaunga mkono na kila kitu Mheshimiwa Spika.
I now call upon the mover to reply. I hope you'll be short. I have communication from the chair.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, I took time to listen to our colleagues who have taken time to contribute to this very important motion. Colleagues from majority side, the minority side, those in support, those who are opposing. Mr. Speaker, the reason why I keenly listened to each of them is that I wanted to understand if, for whatever reason, there is anything that we have missed in the form and manner in which we have proposed this motion, such that our colleagues from the minority side will be opposed to it. Indeed, when we began this motion, many of our colleagues on the minority side were actually in support. But I don't know what happened along the way, as is becoming the custom nowadays. Our colleagues are in a bad mood. They imagine that there is something, there's an animal called a server, which until they see, nothing should work in this country. But some of us see the world differently, Madam Speaker. We believe that once upon the election is over, it's our duty now to serve the people of Kenya. Part of the constitutional mandate that I have is to ensure that I hold ministers to account. And the Constitution has provided. Madam Speaker, I have listened to our colleagues. Each of them dance around. And I was hoping that any of them will cite any constitutional provision that bars ministers from appearing from Senate as a House, Madam Speaker. There's none that I could quote. In fact, to the contrary, Madam Speaker, I was hoping when they finish reading Article 153, which they have quoted so many times out of context, because they cite Article 153.3, which speaks about members, or which speak about cabinet ministers appearing before committees, but forget to read on. This is a common practice that I see with our colleagues. And the other day I challenged them and I told them, stop reading the Constitution the way drunkards sometimes read the Bible, where they only refer to 1 Timothy 5:23, see that it has permitted them to take wine, they close the Bible and run away. There are other dictates of a constitution. If you read down Article 153.4, Madam Speaker, they will have understood what you are trying to do. 153.4, Madam Speaker, speaks that cabinet secretary shall, A, act in accordance with the Constitution, and B, which is extremely important to this matter that is before us, so that for the comfort of my colleagues who may be thinking that maybe what you are doing is not constitutional, is that they will provide Parliament with full and regular reports concerning matters under their control. What the Constitution doesn't do is provide for the how. We don't expect our Constitution to guide us on every little detail. It is us to create the law. And that is what we are doing, Madam Speaker. We are creating the enabling environment for cabinet ministers to appear before us. In fact, I want to tell you that there is nothing other than sulk, which is what our colleagues are doing. You will see them next week on Wednesday. When we resume, there will be more than us in this house, willing and ready to ask. If indeed they strongly believe that cabinet ministers should not come to this house, I challenge the minority side, then don't show up when cabinet ministers are here.
Yes. Hypocrites.
So, Madam Speaker, we must grow a good culture of democracy, where if my colleague who, for political reasons I don't agree with, choose, Madam Speaker, a particular path, if it makes sense, if it's good for the country, then I should be able to support them. Otherwise, what they are setting is a very dangerous precedent. The colleagues who keep on walking out every time they don't agree have bills on the order paper. They have motions. Very soon, Senator Boni Halwale, the whip on the minority side, will start applying the same games to them, so that we see how they will transact. They will bring legislation which require 24 delegations. Let's see where they'll get the numbers from, if they want us to play this kind of game, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, I want to appreciate the colleagues that have brought contributions to this motion. I appreciate, and I have said, and I want to repeat for emphasis sake, Madam Speaker, that cabinet ministers will appear before us in plenary to answer to specific questions that are of national importance, policy-related matters, and still appear before committees to respond to specific matters that are under the jurisdiction of that particular committee. That is plain and simple matter. With those very many remarks, Madam Speaker, I beg to move. Thank you.
Thank you, Majority Leader.